What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? How we doing today? As usual, hope you're doing well. Yes, I should be good. You see, I had an issue with my audio capture last time, and it's annoying. And even now, I have a bit of an issue. I feel like my audio is probably a little bit low. I'm wondering if it's because the microphone is not turned the proper way, which is quite frequently an issue for me. It is a little bit better, but it's not quite as good as I'd like it to be. I need to see, is it better here? No, no, no. Okay, well, I know what I'll do. I don't know who's here and who's not right now. Probably barely anybody. It says there's 3 viewers on YouTube, so somebody could tune in, chime in, and let me know if everything's all good. I would appreciate that. Last time I streamed Wednesday, excuse me, when I streamed on Wednesday, I had fucking like 5 minutes of just silence, just silence. You know, God, that was ear rape. What was ear rape? Scott needs to be on Kick for TTS. I am on Kick, Bailey J. I am on Kick. Maybe I should enable text to speech on Kick. The like excuse me, geez. I appreciate everybody for showing up. Everybody who's showed up so far. As I've said, streaming has taken less of a priority in my life lately because I have other things pulling me away from it. But I want to do good streams. I want to have good streams. I want things to be all good, but it's just baby. Could you turn this down just a little bit? It's like I don't even know who the hell this guy is. He could fall off a bridge for all I care, and I wouldn't, you know I wouldn't mind. Anyway, fucking it's I'm a little bit annoyed because for one thing, I had no clue the fight was tonight. I saw people posting about it and they said that it was Saturday, so I figured I was safe. I was gonna wait till tomorrow and stream for the fights tomorrow, and I was gonna get all the fights on the card. But no, it is not Saturday. It's Friday, I guess, is the day of the fight. So I missed every fight up until the main event. And now the main event is going to be on in probably like a fucking hour. They're just going to keep on stalling for the better part of an hour or so, and they'll like at midnight they'll have the fight, and that's really annoying. Tomorrow is Andrew Tate. Yeah, fuck. Oh yeah, it's Andrew Tate versus Chase Demore, and you know what? I could give a shit about Chase Demore. I'll be honest with you, but um, I don't know. Maybe we'll stream for that tomorrow. The Andrew Tate fight. Maybe it depends. I might be going to church. I'm might be trying a different day, a different time. So, we'll see what happens there. But yeah, that is kind of interesting that Andrew Tate's going to be on. I'll have to try and figure out what time that is. Um, but yeah, so we're here right now. We're here right now, and well, we're just waiting on that main event. I'm not just gonna stream for the main event and then jump off. Obviously, I'll stream for the main event and then we'll chill and we'll do whatever. We'll talk about whatever. Excuse me. But what I was saying is, it's still too fucking loud for me. Like I don't want to. Like I don't even want to hear it right now. I don't even want to hear it. Like they have a bunch of influencers you'd only know about if you were black, you know? Fucking oh no, one of them's David Hay, which like I I had no clue. That's what he looks like now. All right, whatever. I figured he was a rapper. Anyway, but yeah, like um yeah, like I want these streams. I want these streams to be as good as I can make them, even when I can't make them good, which is frustrating because therein lies the issue. But I don't know. Maybe I should turn on TTS for Kick and see how that works. See how that goes. I don't think anyone watches me on Kick. My most viewed Kick stream is 7 views, and I bet most, if not all of them, were bots that weren't even real bots. That weren't even real like not like view bots, but bots that do what excuse me. View bots that do what this view bot just did in my Kick chat, which says, "Would you like any viewers? Come in." nezhna.com is apparently where you can get view bots at or something like that. Nobody's gonna do anything on Kick. Uh, should I just I shouldn't say that out loud, but should I just do that to my Kick? Should I just do that for the shits and gigs? Just see what happens if and when I do it. Maybe I should. Maybe I should. It's a joke, of course. It's a joke. Bailey J. It's Scott Sullivan MMA on Kick. But yeah. Who do you got on the fight? I don't know. We'll figure that out when it happens. We'll cross that bridge when we get to it. Or I heard a better way to I heard a better way of saying it. It's not a we'll cross that bridge. We'll jump off that bridge when we get to it. Um, I want to see Jake Paul not fight like Jake Paul usually does. Jake Paul has a good overhand right. He has a good rear hook. So I mean, I guess I do want to see him fight a little bit of how he does. But there's an issue with the boxing world today in that certain styles reign supreme even when they shouldn't. Like if you're Jake Paul and you're fighting Anthony Joshua, who's like a head taller than you should not be standing upright. There's a reason why Marciano fought the way he did, right? And that's because he was that much smaller than everybody else in the heavyweight division. So he had. Oh, thank you very much for the follow, Faye Spirits. I would assume I would assume that's probably Bailey J. I appreciate the follow. You know, um, and yeah, it should be anyway. Let me see. I'll check. Like if you see how say Rocky Marciano fights, and this is we're getting closer and closer to 100 years ago. It's like 60 to 70 years ago when Marciano was fighting. Excuse me. Yep, it is Scott Sullivan MMA on Kick. And I am live right now. You can hear me. Anyway, um there we go. But um if you see the way he fights, he's fighting like that because he's fighting dudes that are so much taller than him. He had to adapt a style that would allow him to be successful in the heavyweight division when he honestly probably should have been like a middleweight or maybe even something a little bit smaller. I think Marciano was like 5'10". Let's Rocky Marciano. Um One moment. Um, Here we go. Again, you should be able to hear me, right? Yep, you can hear me fine. Get out of here. I ain't giving you guys money. Yeah, he was 5'10". That is teeny tiny. That is teeny tiny for the heavyweight division, even at that time. Like what the fuck is did Dave fucking what the Barstool Sports guy? What is he doing here? Get him off the screen. Get that throw that guy in a wood chipper. Throw the fucking Barstool Sports guy, throw that dude in a wood chipper. Are you fucking kidding me? But anyway, like he fought that way because he had to because he was undersized for the heavyweight division. But if you go into a lot of different boxing gyms nowadays and you fight like that, they're gonna be like, no, you see, you don't want to fight like that because of this and because of that, and this is why you do it this way and that way. Uh, A lot of boxing coaches, especially boxing coaches, are world famous for this. Dave Portnoy, yeah, that fucking asshole. Throw him in a wood chipper and throw the fucking juice into the ocean. Fucking let the sharks have at him. But um boxing coaches especially are like world famous for only knowing how to do things one way and only being willing to accept things one way. You have a guy whether his fighters have been successful or not, his way is the way you do things, and if it's not if it's like everything else is wrong, and he has a million explanations as to why it's wrong, as opposed to why his way is correct, you know. um and because of that, you have these styles that, even though they are, the efficacy of them is legitimate, they are good styles, they are good ways to fight, especially when you have certain situations with certain guys. But they get thrown in the dustbin because you have like a new trend that people hop on. It's really annoying, and you see the same thing with MMA, but it's especially it's easier to see in boxing, you know. Um there's a lot of things that they fell out of use, not because they were like bad, but because like I said, there was a certain trend that took over. Is that was that Bam Margera in a KFC thing? That looked like Bam Margera. Anyway, um, yeah. To sum up, what I'm trying to say is like Jake Paul cannot fight like the fucking Puerto Ricans that he's training with or that he's getting trained by. I know he like lives in Puerto Rico or something like that, and he's got Puerto Rican coaches. The Puerto Ricans have a certain way of fighting. The Mexicans have a certain way of fighting. Boxing is very cultural in that like you'll have different little ways of doing things depending on where you go in the world. You know, like in the Northeast, we're brawlers up here. You know, we're not afraid to take damage. We'll march forward on you. That's the way that a lot of people tend to fight around here. Um, but like you have a bias towards slick boxing, slick counter punching. Even if you're gonna move forward, it's kind of that Mexican style, like just high guard. You don't have a lot of like big pronounced head movement or anything like that. You want big pronounced head movement when you're facing someone who's a head taller than you, because it's a way for you to go from the outside to the inside. You know, you want to slip to the inside. You want to bob and weave to the inside. That's where that gazelle punch that Marciano and some other guys from that era would use. Like it's not bad stuff. It's just that you have like modern day trainers who think they know everything. And because of that, they train dudes wrong for whatever opponent they're going to go in and fight. And for 6, 8, 12 rounds, they're just fucking marching forward, getting the shit beat out of them. And they don't have anything they can do to stop it, you know? Hope it makes sense what I'm trying to say. Damn, it's crazy how old Timbaland and Shaggy look. That's and Ross, fucking Rick Ross. That dude's got a big ass head. That dude's got the biggest head I've ever seen. Who the fuck is Bella Bajaria? Again, like it's celebrity, it's celebrities you would only know if you were black or like Puerto Rican, or if you were like a zoomer broccoli hair wigger. And it's just like kind of stupid, you know. We have Matt Rife too, a comedian, I guess. Anyway, so what I like to, so what I like to fight. Big whoop. Want to fight about it? I remember that. I remember that from Family Guy. Boxing fans be like the sweet science as they watch the most boring fight ever. Exactly, exactly. You know, and like I've said, MMA has the same problems as boxing. Oh, Rory McIlroy. Okay, if you're now if you're a rich white dude who's into golf, and then Bert Kreischer if you're the most annoying white dude. All right, so there's equal representation here, I guess. Um, man, after Dave Portnoy gets done in the wood chipper, throw Bert in there right after him. Don't even clean the thing. Don't even clean it. You throw him in feet first, and it jams halfway up. This is of course jokes. I would never actually like wish harm, especially that kind of harm on someone. But it's just like the word like that's the thing about these, like, especially this is what Netflix is gonna do when they start hosting more Netflix boxing events. Is they're gonna start they're gonna start showing people. They're gonna give the worst celebrities that you know free tickets to these events, and they're gonna show them on screen. And Bert Kreischer's gonna be like, you know, and it's Dave Portnoy is gonna pretend like he knows anything about boxing. You know, it's like fucking a. If Portnoy knew anything about boxing, he wouldn't have to threaten to sue everybody or whatever it is he does when somebody fucking talks shit about him. You know, Netflix does this for every Monday Night Raw. I can only imagine how awful that is, Bailey J. I feel for you. I feel for you. Um, but yeah, I was saying like boxing and MMA have the same problems, but boxing has had these problems for a lot longer, so they are a lot more advanced. You will see MMA get as bad as boxing at some point, probably in the next 5 to 10 years, and by that time, boxing will be 10 times as worse as it is now. You know, um, these fights are fucking boring, and I was talking to the wife about that, right? Like we tuned in just in time for the last 2 or 3 rounds of the fight before this, the cat fight, the girl fight. And somebody mentioned to um somebody mentioned to I don't even remember her name. That's how forgettable she is. Somebody mentioned to that chick, like, honestly, I forget who said it, but basically someone mentioned that like technical fights are not as fun to the fans. And I was saying like, no, actually technical fights are really fun to the fans as long as they are actually action packed in a real way. The whole like last quarter of Mayweather's career where he was just like Philly shell, pull trap, land a 3 punch combination, and it's all pillows. He's throwing fucking pillows. You know, that sucked because there was no real action. It's like, okay, I guess that's a cool example of technical prowess. Good for Mayweather for being able to do that. I want to see a knockdown. I want to see a knockout. Can we have a knockout, please? Can we have an example of the human spirit, the indomitable human spirit triumphing over what seem to be impossible odds? Can we have that, please? I would appreciate if our combat sports could feature just a little bit of that. But boxing doesn't have that as much anymore. I've actually been enjoying watching boxing too. Another thing I was telling the wife, like when I get back in shape, um, when I get back in shape, if I do take another fight, like I honestly think I might do a boxing match. I might take a pro boxing match, you know? But we'll see about that. Um, but like it's just boring overall, and MMA is getting to be the same way, not just with the grappling but also with the striking, because even a lot of the striking exchanges are like you're only throwing 70% intensity. You're trying to keep it nice and loose, nice and easy. You're trying to land volume is what you're trying to do, and not even an exciting volume. Like you have exciting volume strikers like Tony Ferguson, Nate Diaz, both of who are out of the UFC, by the way. They're not even there anymore. Um, and those guys were fun to watch because you'd get a little bit of personality in there, and they were also tough motherfuckers. But now dudes, they're going in there, they're throwing like 60, 70% jab, cross, kick, cross, and it goes all 15 minutes, 3 5 minute rounds, or God forbid, 25 minutes, 5 5 minute rounds, excuse me. Jeez, I can't do math. And it just it just sucks. It's not fun. It's awful, you know? Scott's kind of black, says Mo Cheese, the real one. Hey yo. Hey yo. Nate Diaz says he wants to become a college professor. I hope he does. Oh, I fucking hope he does. I would pay to do a I would pay to do that. So, tail of the tape. 28 36 6166. Fucking 216, 243, 76 inch reach and 82-inch reach. We're talking about the tail of the tape between Jake Paul and Anthony Joshua. Jake Paul was the first metric that I gave every time, Joshua the second. So this is not an exhibition, which means there will be a win and loss recorded for this fight. It is 8-minute rounds. 8 rounds, 3 minutes per round with 10-ounce gloves. That is pretty legit. And obviously the odds are stacked very much against Anthony Joshua here. They're about to get ready to do the walkouts, I believe. I mean, the odds are not stacked against Anthony Joshua. The odds are stacked against Jake Paul, but I mean, I guess we're gonna see what happens. Jake is gonna have to fight kind of conservatively. He's gonna have to stay out of danger and only enter in when he's absolutely sure. Because that's the thing is Jake's been training for 5 years. I'll be honest with you though, I don't like every like if there's one thing I'll say, it's that I've never been satisfied with YouTube boxers, um, or just influencer boxers. I've never been satisfied with them because most of them, even though they know they're gonna be fighting someone in like 6 months, right? And they're YouTubers. They're TikTokers. They're Instagram models. They don't have jobs that are 8 hour a day jobs. They could dedicate 4 to 6 hours a day to boxing if they really, really tried. They could front load, or they could have content in reserve so they can just have a steady stream of content over 6 months or so, if not at least like 2 to 4 months, and they can just dedicate everything to boxing, and they fucking don't for some reason. That was one of the things with Creator Clash 2 when we figured out that they were getting stipends of like 20 grand for training. It's like, where did that where did that training go, guys? I remember Creator Clash 1 and 2, they were all like it was pathetic, the boxing ability that most of them had, you know? And again, these people had like 6 months where they could have absolutely went crazy, just train, 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 box, 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 box. I'm not saying I expected any sort of like crazy fucking again, Mayweather, Joshua, Tyson Fury level of skill from these people. I at least expected them to be proficient amateurs though, and most of them were not. And Jake Paul, he's not the worst guy to come out of the influencer sphere, but every time I've seen him box, I have been a little bit disappointed. I've been like, oh, I expected him to kind of, hmm, oh, excuse me. LOL, Joshua looks kind of shook. He knows his job. I don't know. Maybe he is. Maybe he is. I suppose we will see how he fares. Sorry, one more. Anyway, man. Um, sorry, I'm just reading some stuff. Is there any chance they try to contractually make Jake Paul win again, like that Tyson fight? I don't know. Maybe. Scott, get that bet in. Jake Paul plus 6x, dude. Nah. I'm not a betting man. I tried the Kalshi thing. I didn't know Kalshi was a trend. I thought I was a smart motherfucker. I was like, "Oh, dude, there's this guy literally I got caught by like the most like NPC trap, and I'm not ashamed of it because the thing about trying to get a score, or the thing about trying to eke out a grift 6'9". Excuse me. I wonder what he's playing. Fuck. What was that? What was that song? He does some like stupid shit. He says some stupid shit in one of his songs. I would have liked for him to do I would have liked for him to do to do that song walking out. Um but yeah, anyway, Kalshi feels like predation on poor people. Yeah, like it's the only reason I gave it a shot, right, is the same reason I gave a shot to NFTs, and that's because if you're gonna like they say you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. You have to be willing to lose money. And me, I'm not dumb enough to be like NFTs, dude, I'm gonna take out a loan for those things. No, I'll buy an NFT for like 200 and see what happens with it. And if nothing happens with it, maybe I'll try another one just for good measure. And that's what happened. I have like two or three NFTs. One of them was actually the Mondo Megabits one. I figured if one of these influencer NFTs was gonna do something, it might have been Mondo because of the fan base that Sam has. I figured maybe someone would want to buy it. I never even bothered to see about it, you know. Um, but yeah, like this ring announcer, I'm not a big fan of Cody Momarts. He used to follow me on Instagram because I tried out for BKFC years ago, and that's all you needed to get some of these people to follow you is to try out like visibly for BKFC. There's just something about his announcer style I'm not a big fan of. I'm kind of like autistically into announcers. Like I don't know. I have a pecking order in my head of like what I think the best ones are and what aren't. But um yeah, with the whole with with the whole NFT thing and the Kalshi thing is the same. Like I'll put in a little bit of money to see what happens. And if I get a return, maybe I put in a little bit more money. I get more return, I just keep putting in more and more and more money, you know? And that's what I'm doing with Kalshi. And most of the things that I have bet on, I haven't bet on anything new since like September. Most of the things I bet on, I lost. But if there's one thing I know is going to pull through, it's going to be will weed be reclassified, excuse me, by the end of this year. Nothing's going to happen with weed until at least like 2027, 2028. I guarantee you. I guarantee you. Trump has better things to do than to legalize weed, even though it would be a huge boost to his fan base, to his base from like even some liberals, but especially libertarians. Like he's not concerned with legalizing weed when he's got other things on his plate. And even then he might not legalize weed. I think this I almost said this millennium. I think this decade we will see legal weed. I think it'll happen. But it's not going to be this year. It was never going to be this year. It won't even be next year, you know? So yeah, I'm gonna win $25. I'm gonna win $25 on that bet. So, you know, there you go. There you go. Bruce Buffer gets Mushmouth often. People just love his swag. Yeah. Yeah, like you can't over the year like you cannot beat early UFC Bruce Buffer, with the it's time thing. Even now he's not as even now he's not quite as he's not quite as enthusiastic as he is now. He doesn't build things up like he does now. And I think that's probably the result of the UFC becoming more corporate. So he's literally just not as enthusiastic about it. But if you take some of the early days Bruce Buffer, it's times, it's like, whew, you get fucking shivers, you know? Michael Buffer as well, top tier. I think Michael Buffer is perfect for boxing because boxing is supposed to be the gentleman's sport, and there is a very classy, very very gentlemanly way about him and about the way he does stuff, you know? Um, Especially because when it comes to boxing, you'll have dudes that have like 5 fucking belts throughout their career, and they'll either be the current or they'll be the former. So he's there like he is the former WBC lightweight champion, the former WBO lightweight champion, the former WBA junior lightweight, whatever. You know, I don't even know if junior lightweight's a thing. I'm just making shit up, right? But you get the idea. Like there's something very gentlemanly about that. It's almost like a gentleman is like has arrived at a party and he's being introduced by the butler, you know, um, by the Bruce Butler, and it's mad cool for boxing. It's mad cool for boxing, you know. When it comes to Bruce Buffer, there's a gladiatorial feel to him, which the UFC is very gladiatorial. At least back in the day, it was very gladiatorial, and they ended up exactly where they needed to be. If Bruce Buffer was in boxing and Michael Buffer was in the UFC, it'd just be weird, you know. Bruce Buffer fought Frank Trigg in an elevator. I bet he won. I bet he won. All right, so we have the first round of this fight, and Jake on his horse right away. He's right up against the ropes immediately, you know. So the reason, like, honestly, the way that I fight Sam is the way that Paul needs to fight Joshua. You know, like Jake Paul really he needs to use head movement. Like the movement around the ring, running away is not a bad idea. You know, when I say running away, what I really mean is circling. But there's 8 rounds. He's gonna get tired of that. By round 4, he's gonna slow down. You know, he needs that head movement. That was a good leading jab. He took his head off the center line and out of danger, and he darted in, which is exactly what he needs. That was kind of a weird jab from Joshua. He kind of threw at the titties there. That's a strange area to throw at on Jake Paul, and it didn't have a ton of power on it. Though there was a right hook that if it hit Jake, it probably would have hurt him off of off of a counter from Jake. I believe I forget exactly what happened, but I think Jake stepped in with a right hand. There's a jab to the body followed by a right hand up top by Jake. So Joshua steps forward with a lead hook and he misses. But yeah, Jake needs to keep his head out of the pocket. He needs to keep his head off the center line. Oh, okay. He fucking shot in for a takedown. He literally hit a fucking he hit a trip on him. He hit a fucking that was purposeful. He hit a trip on Anthony Joshua. But um again, like the way I fight Sam, if you take a look at the way that I spar with Sam, the examples that were on video, some of them are even on my channel. You'll notice I do a lot of like waiting on the outside for the jab to come in, and when the jab comes in, I parry and then I move my head off the center line and I take a big step in to close the distance. That's something that Jake just did a second ago, you know? Like I said, I want to see good head movement from him, you know? Um, Anthony Joshua, he's 36. He's older, like quite a bit older than Jake. I think Jake's like 28, 29. Look, he's a former pro athlete. There was a cross to the body from Joshua. Um, he's a pro athlete, right? An elite level athlete. Ooh, Jake gets caught in the corner. He steps off. Joshua tries to throw a cross. He misses. Jake uses some head movement. Um, like Anthony Joshua is no slouch, is what I'm trying to say. You know, it's not going to be easy no matter what happens. You know. All right, so that is the end of round 1. Not a whole lot of anything. I don't know who I'd give it to, honestly. I don't know who I'd give it to because it was kind of even the whole time. I don't think anyone really landed anything, and if anybody did, it was like nothing of consequence, you know. Maybe Jake because I think he was a little bit more active, and when he did, even when he missed by less than what Anthony was missing by. Maybe I'd give it a Jake. I don't know, but you know. Hey yo, this dude's still black. Hey, the fuck he doing? Michael Buffer threatening to pop Mike Tyson in the mouth lives in the forefront of my thought to this day. Did he really? Did he really threaten to? Did he really threaten to pop Mike Tyson? That's pretty crazy if he did. Baby, could you do me a huge favor and grab me a cup? Cup? Yeah, a cup. Thank you. If you want to wait till after this round, you can. It's okay. All right, thank you, baby. All right, so we're off, and Jake doing more of the same. You know, you see, the thing is, Anthony is going to start cutting the ring off, which he's already starting to do. He's not following Jake around the ring. There's a jab from Anthony. He's not following Jake around the ring like he was. Ooh, there was a cross to the body from Jake, and then Anthony tried to throw a return cross. There's a jab cross from Anthony. The jab landed on like the titties. The cross missed. I don't know why he keeps throwing at the tits. He's literally throwing at the chest. You know, like over the ooh, there's a big swing and a miss from Anthony Joshua. He threw a jab followed by a right hook. Did you rinse this at all, or is it straight out of the thing? No. Thank you, baby. I'm sorry. No, it's fine. All right. I got to be honest with you. It's pretty clear to me that Anthony Joshua is holding back right now. He's not. Most of his punches, he's not really following through. He's not stepping into his jab. It's an arm jab. Even that cross right there was an arm cross. He didn't really turn into it. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know if Anthony's just pacing himself. I don't know what the deal with that is, you know. I mean, it's an 8-round fight. It's not exactly the 12 rounds that he would be used to as a main event fighter. Thank you very much, baby. I'm sorry. It's just, you know, with the fucking dumbass roaches. It's not a good look for him. I got to be honest with you. Like it looks. That was a nice little hook. That hook would have hurt if it landed, but you know it didn't land. Jake's doing a good job of being in and out, right? He's not getting stuck in the pocket. You know, and like I said, that's going to be tougher and tougher as the fight goes on. Maybe because Anthony knows Jake has the more high intensity, high effort strategy. He's just taking it nice and easy right now. Maybe that's what's going on. I don't know, but it's like I said, most of these punches that you're seeing Anthony throw are just not very. They're not very. You know, like that jab to the body right there. That might have stuck him a little bit. You know, he actually stepped in and turned on that one. There's that cross looked like there was a little bit of oomph in it, but you know, Jake changed levels and now he's in on a body lock right now, and that's a smart move. What Jake needs to do is he needs to utilize upper body wrestling on the inside so that he doesn't end up getting caught. You know, and what Anthony Joshua can and should do is he should try to bait that forward motion out of Jake and then frame, like, I don't know if he did it on purpose, but he kind of framed off Jake there where Jake moved forward and you could see Anthony, his left hand ended up posted on Jake's head or maybe his neck area, and because of that Jake couldn't keep in. He had to back off and he was stuck in the corner, you know? Like right now um right now Jake's fighting the fight he needs to. Like I gotta be honest with you, I don't know who I'd give that round to either. You know, Bailey J says Jake lost that one. I don't meaning the first round. He lost the first round. I don't know. Maybe he did. I saw a couple of nice shots from yep, swing and a miss. I saw a couple of nice shots from Jake. I didn't see a ton land from Anthony Joshua. I got to be honest with you. You know, there's a nice little double jab on the way in, and then he locks up Joshua, and that's what he needs to avoid. Which it only gets harder as the fight goes on because of the sweat and the fatigue is trying to tie up those hands. Because when he steps out, that's a really bad place for Anthony Joshua to for him to be with Anthony Joshua. You know, there's a nice little lead hook from Jake that lands, kind of a pawing hook, more of a slap. Um, what was I gonna say? Like one of Joshua's most famous knockouts, and not just one of his most famous, but there was a cross to the arm from Joshua. Again, not really turning into his punches a whole lot. Maybe it could be a little bit of both, where he doesn't want to overextend, he doesn't want to overcommit, because maybe he'll get countered, because Jake is a little bit quicker than him. You know, he's a little bit lighter, he's a little bit more agile, but still Anthony Joshua is not, you know, there's a nice uppercut on the inside. Again, like it's like if you look at the way I fight Sam, you'll notice like some similarities. That's something I like to do too, is step in, we're nice and close, and then I step off and throw an uppercut, you know? Looks like Jake may have caught something on the way in there. Oh, excuse me. There's an uppercut on the inside from Joshua. Ooh, that was a hard. Ooh, those are some. Yeah, those are some digging body. Those are some digging shots from Joshua there. Those definitely would not feel good to take. You know. Um, what was I gonna say? But yeah, like there's a way to fight somebody who's a lot bigger than you. You know, and I wasn't sure if Jake's coaches were just gonna be like, hey, like just fight him like you fought everybody else. Tee hee, can't do that. You can you cannot fucking do that. You know. Um, you're seeing Jake get walked down more and more. And one thing I was gonna say is, excuse me, one thing I was gonna say is don't assume that because somebody's on the back foot they're losing. You know, that was a nice little combination from Anthony Joshua. I think he was mainly testing what'll happen. You see, Anthony might be starting to make reads, because that was a jab to a left hook, and then he threw another jab after. Um, I think he's starting to make reads a little bit, and I think he's starting to see that Jake is using that slip to the outside of his jab, and I think he's trying to find ways to bait that reaction so that he can counter off of it, or so that he can attack off of it, attack off that reaction. Excuse me. Um, what was I gonna say? But yeah, don't assume that just because someone's on the back foot they are losing. You know, it's easy to think that, because we think, oh well, that guy's walking forward, that means he feels strong and he's winning. Not necessarily. You know, I do think Jake is winning this fight right now, mainly because Anthony is not really trying that much. If I'm being completely and totally honest with you, there's been some good moments that Jake has had that Anthony did not give to him, and there's been some interesting moments from Anthony Joshua where it's like, ooh, if that landed, that might have actually hurt, you know? Um, but I mean, that's that's what I'm talking about. Wait on the outside for an overextended jab. You slip the jab and then you move in. It's nice. Why is the ref letting them stay clinched and throw punches? I thought that wasn't allowed. It's not allowed, but it's really up to the ref how far it goes. Like if the whole fight was them in the clinch throwing punches, that'd be a problem, and the ref would probably get in a little bit of trouble. But it's really the refs. That was pretty close. That overhand right. You see what I'm talking about? Jake just tried to fucking take him down again. He's trying to pretend like he's just falling over, but he's really trying to take Anthony down. Just as a I don't I mean I could think of a couple of reasons why, but yeah, so that it's really up to the referee. Ooh, overhand right lands from Jake, and then a couple of jabs. I think he might have got caught by something, and then another jab. He might have got caught by something that was glancing on the way in, that overhand right. You see what I'm fucking talking about? You see what I'm talking about? That was straight up a double leg takedown, and then he transitioned to a fucking ankle pick. Is what he just tried to do. It's his holy shit, that is hilarious, bro. Man, he Jake Paul thinks he's slick. He thinks he's fucking cute. Um, but yeah, like you got to be careful in that range with Anthony Joshua. Ooh, a snap down. A snap down. That is pretty nice. You used to see snap downs in boxing, and that's something you see in wrestling and jujitsu. You know, you see snap downs into a shot. You see snap downs into movements so that you can land punches. What I was gonna say though is one of Anthony's most famous KOs, probably his most famous KO, was the Klitschko fight, where he landed that uppercut coming out of the clinch. Jake's got to be very careful to not get caught there. He's got to be extremely careful not to get caught in that range, you know? Is what looked like a double jab and a short right. Ooh, there was a left hook followed by an uppercut from Anthony Joshua that almost landed on Jake. I feel like even though Anthony is, you see what I'm talking about? He's missing and he's taking dudes down. He's this is purposeful from him. He is. Oh no, are they calling that a snap? Did they call that the snap down? Was that a snap down and then he just took the leg with him? Was there a dick punch? What happened? I'm confused. It must have been a dick punch or something because if he just snapped him down and he fell, that wouldn't be any sort of that wouldn't be any reason to have the fight stopped still. You gave Joshua a verbal warning. Fucking get on with it. So there's a jab that deflects. Yeah, that's what I thought. That wasn't even especially like that wasn't even a snap down from Josh. A snap down is when you take one or both hands on the head and you snap it down, you know? That was just a frame from Anthony Joshua. That was good defense on his part. And it was honestly kind of ooh, there's a nice leaping left hook from Jake. You see what I'm talking about? He is going for the fucking double leg takedown. He's tired and he doesn't want to be tired in Anthony Joshua's range, so he's going for the double leg takedown. And Joshua just threw a couple of shots while he was on the ground, which I don't even blame him for. What I was gonna say is it was actually, even though it's kind of like a bullshit move, it was a smart move of Jake to do that when he had that frame, right? Um, he had that frame and he could have stepped off and used it to guide Jake's head into a big ass uppercut that would have taken his head clean off. Um, so all things considered, like from a I'm going to win at any cost uh mindset, that was a good idea on his part. So that is the end of round 4. We are now halfway through this fight and I think Jake's winning. Jake definitely won that round. I feel like Anthony definitely has been holding back, but Jake is definitely nervous. He's getting a little bit afraid. You can see that Anthony Joshua is starting to pick it up a little bit more. And I think what's happening is maybe Anthony is starting to get a little pissed off. Maybe he's deciding, okay, now's the time to come alive. But he's still kind of holding back a little bit. And because of that, Jake has to use a lot more effort. That happens in sparring a lot, and it's really frustrating when someone does that to you in sparring because it's not an actual fight, right? Where like you'll go into a sparring round and you'll be like, I'm gonna go like 50%, and the other guy goes like 60 or 70%. And if you match him, he starts going 80 or 90%. And the reason why he's doing that is because the only way he can have success is to increase the output. There was a small jab from Joshua, kind of caught Jake coming in. I mean, oh, they're saying the unofficial scorecards gave the first 3 to Anthony Joshua and the last one to Jake. I don't like. I really feel like the first round was Jake's round. I got to be completely and totally honest with you. Like and not because Jake did that much better, just because neither of them did that good. But I saw Jake missed by less. You know. Ooh, that was a nice overhand, right? That was a nice overhand right, and then there was a left hook by Jake Paul. That was pretty good. A little bit under 2 minutes in this round right now. I'd be lying if I didn't say I would not be entertained if I'd be lying if I said I wouldn't be entertained if Jake Paul won, you know. If Anthony Joshua really made him like earn it, I wouldn't have a that might be considered a knockdown. That might be a knockdown. Yep, that's a knockdown. He fell as the punch was coming in. So that is a clean knockdown, you know. So that is now a 10-9 round for Anthony Joshua, you know, and Jake Paul definitely is you can see he's not you can see he's not doing that well. You see with MMA like ooh, yep. That is knockdown number 2. You see when it comes to MMA, the pace is a lot different from boxing. Dudes will come alive in rounds 4, 5, 6 instead of rounds 1, 2, and 3. You see dudes in MMA and they'll come alive like halfway through the first round, and that's 2.5 minutes in. That's almost one round of boxing, you know. Um, Boxers are a little bit more strategic when it comes to. Oh, that was a nice overhand from Jake. I'll say that. Boxers are a little bit more strategic when it comes to their. Ooh, that was a nice left hook, fucking counter from Jake. It missed, but he countered the jab with a left hook. That was pretty cool to see. You know the speed on that. But yeah, boxers. Yeah, you're seeing Anthony really give it to him now. I think the first like 2 to 3 rounds, he was just taking his time because he knew he had another 5 or 6 rounds to go. You know, and that's just the way it is when it comes to that's that's just the way that it is when it comes to boxing. Is the pacing is a lot different. Um, and as somebody who's not a traditional boxer, sometimes I even forget that. And I remember, like, oh, yeah, no. Like, why would he blow himself out in the first round, similar to what Jake did? And that's kind of something that I referred to. He twisted his ankle or something. That is kind of what I referred to a little bit earlier. I forget which round it was, but I was thinking like I don't know, maybe he's backed off talking about Anthony Joshua. Maybe he's not going in yet because he knows Jake has the harder job. He has to keep away and he has to dart in and then dart back out. That's a really high energy strategy. You gotta have really good cardio for that. And even if you have good cardio, you might not you might not be able to last. And I think that's where Jake is at right now. I think he's at a point where even his body's starting to fail him a little bit. I think that's what that twisted ankle was, you know. And that might be considered a knockdown. I don't know. I guess we'll see about that. I think that was more of a slip. I don't know. Maybe the punch landed and I just didn't see it land. It didn't look like the punch landed, you know. But that is another knockdown for Jake Paul. Not for Jake Paul, but on Jake Paul. Excuse me. Jab overhand and then a double jab uppercut from Jake that looks like it may have been a glancing blow, but it looks like he also took a glancing blow. There's ooh, those are some nice shots he just took. He rolled with them though. He rolled with those punches that he just took, so that's why it didn't phase him as much as you would probably expected it to. You see, there's Jake. Jake can't. Ooh, yep. Oh yeah, that rattled him. That rattled him. Mm-hmm. He's not going to be up in time. He's not going to beat the bell. Yep. That is a knockout too. That's not just a TKO. He did not beat. No, oh, no, oh, no, 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 no. Fuck, I forget the difference between KO and TKO in boxing. There's a difference, but if you don't beat the 10 count, I forget if they call that a TKO or a KO. You know, Either way, it's still a knockout. But you know what I mean. Yeah. Um, yeah. I mean, honestly, that was not really. If I'm being honest with you, that really wasn't anything to be ashamed of. Um, he did a lot better than he should have. You know, if I did that well against Anthony Joshua, I would be pretty happy with it. I'll be honest with you, I'd be pretty happy with that. Um, you know, he didn't just take a fight with an old boxer. He took a fight with a heavyweight champion. And 36 in the heavyweight division is not that old either. You can still do very well at the age of 36 in the heavyweight division in boxing and in MMA, you know? Um, so it's not like Anthony Joshua is like, it's not like he's washed, you know? So honestly, Jake should be proud of himself. You know, he should be proud of himself. He probably is. Um, you know, Anthony Joshua did a good job. You can see now that that was definitely part of his whole plan was, you know, take the first few rounds. Jeez. Take the first few rounds, you know, take the first few rounds off, you know. Excuse me. And come alive in rounds 3, 4, 5. Surviving that long is still pretty good. I don't even think he just survived. Like really, like I think he did pretty well, you know. To win like until the knockdowns came, he was winning round 5. He won round 4. He was still very much in the fight until it started going wrong for him. That's all that happened was it just started going wrong for him. You know, he gassed out. His body started failing. He, you know, again, like he is not going to be used to having to deal with you see what I was talking about. I don't think that was actually a knockdown, that first one. I'm pretty sure that missed. I wasn't even there. I wasn't looking as well as I probably could have, you know. So I want to pay attention to these moments. Bang. Yep. And that was what just before that happened, I was literally like I was going to say Jake needs to keep his hands up and then bang. Like as that right hand was coming in, like when he did that, I was about to say Jake needs to keep his hands up and then bang, he got nailed because his hands were down here, you know? Um what I was what I was saying though, right? What I was saying though, um like yeah, I mean, Jake Paul did good. You know, he's got nothing to be ashamed of. I think it's not even necessarily a skill gap. It's more of an experience gap. And what I mean by that is basically what I was talking about with the pace difference, the pacing differences between boxing and MMA. You can be really good at throwing jab cross hook. You can be really good at like dodging punches. You can be good at closing distance and creating distance and stuff like that. You can be really good at those technical aspects of boxing, but you also need to be good at the um peripheral wouldn't be the case, but knowing that you have 8 rounds, you need to game plan based around those rounds so that you're not going to gas yourself out. Because regardless of how good your cardio is, you still only have a finite amount of energy. You're going to get tired eventually. You're going to lose stamina eventually. Your hands are going to get heavy. Your legs aren't going to want to move. You're going to get really fucking winded. It's not going to be good. And if you're. Oh, what's going on? Looks like someone's trying to go after fucking Logan Paul. Someone's going after Logan Paul. I don't know what's happening. Oh, anyway. Um, what was I going to say? you need to have a good grasp of how to behave in the ring so that you don't gas out. And I think that's a big thing that Jake probably learned today is, hey, like I need to be prepared, and I need to take certain rounds off. I need to exert in certain rounds. I need to have a general idea of how I'm going to do this, you know? Um, I mean, it is what it is. There's a lot of things. Rip Bam says Cherub Cow. Rip Bam, gone too soon. Gone too soon. Gone but never forgotten. Unless you're the fucking Jackass crew, that is. I'm curious what AJ has to say. Dude, I inhaled some peanut butter and jelly sandwich yesterday. Shit was ridiculous. You coughing up peanut butter sandwich, and your breath tastes like peanut butter and jelly. It's like, holy shit, man. Oh boy. I jump on Twitter because I'll be honest with you, Cherub Cow. Every time I see Rip Bam, I do kind of think, did it happen? That's what makes the Rip Bam thing so funny is that like you could read that and be like, I don't know, maybe it happened this time. Maybe it's real this time. Um, yeah, you see, Anthony Joshua's just cutting a promo right now. It's and that's exactly what I was talking about. He said he understood what Jake was going for, and he took his time. Like I'm gonna be honest with you. At first, I was wondering, like, is he throwing this fight? Is he throwing this fight? I did mention, I don't know, maybe he's just taking his time because he knows Jake's gonna tire out, and it was what was going on. But I honestly wasn't even sure. I mean, it's like I said, and it's like he just said. Like you have to understand the mental side of this, and part of the mental side is knowing how to behave in there, how not to blow your load. Excuse me. Um, for real, I worry that I'll say it and then I'll check the news and be like, "Oh yeah, exactly." But I was talking about that because I jumped on Twitter and I checked the for you tab on the search bar, and the first thing that pops up is Ice Spice stuns in sheer gown at SpongeBob movie screening. This is hold up. What the fuck? This is this is what that hoe wore to a kids movie. That is it's so disgusting, the sexualization that Nickelodeon allows into its stuff. Like they allow people like Ice Spice, they allow degenerate rappers and other shit like that. and it's just it's so gross to me. It's so awful, you know. It's truly just they I kind of spoke a little bit through Jake's thing. I want to listen to what he has to say. Y- Utah. I wonder if his jaw is broken or if he just hasn't been cracked like that before. Because that's it. That same thing happened to a guy that I train. I train with him and I train him. He got cracked good in a tournament that we went to, and afterwards he was like, "I think my jaw's broken." And no, it's just that he got cracked good on the jaw, so it didn't quite feel right, you know. Um, but yeah, I was talking about the sexualization that you see on Nickelodeon. Like they find ways to bring like straight up sexualized shit onto their stuff. And if they can't do straight up like just having Ice Spice wearing that, they'll find a way to have Ice Spice wearing regular clothing but doing something else that's degenerate as fuck, you know? I remember the Watch Me Whip, Watch Me Nay Nay guy. I think that's the name of the song. I remember they had him do like a SpongeBob version of that. And it's like, sure, it seems like it's all in good fun. Tee hee, oh, that isn't that funny, isn't that cute? But this is hip hop that otherwise is about like killing people and murdering and killing and murdering, killing people and selling drugs and doing drugs and just being a straight scumbag because you want to, like especially today's rap. Like it was always, yeah, I'm a scumbag and I want to be. It was always that, despite what someone like Ice Cube might lie about. It was always that. But especially nowadays with the YN culture, um it is still the exact same, and it's even worse, what was I going to say? Like that's so gross, dude. I think that dude wanted to try and take Joshua's glove. The way he pulled the glove in and he hugged it, it's almost like he wanted to rip it off, and he couldn't. He couldn't. You know. You see what I'm talking about? He keeps pulling the glove. He keeps pulling the fucking glove. He keeps putting hands on the glove. He definitely wants that glove as a souvenir. He definitely wants it as a souvenir. He's hoping he can like pull the thing off and it'll be like, oh, you want it back? Oh, I can keep it. Oh, dude, whoa, thank you so much, man. Hey, could you sign it? I have a Sharpie. That's definitely what that guy wants. Anyway, um, well, yeah, I mean that was a good fight. It was entertaining. I had a good time with it. I got to stream at least 2 hours. I got another a little under 50 minutes to go, so we'll just do our usual chill stream. LOL guarantee they're setting up a Logan Paul versus Joshua in WWE with that. I don't know. Maybe they are. That'd be pretty funny. Yeah, it sucks. The WWE is just like so trash in terms of its entertainment value. It's just not fun to watch a WWE. Oh, excuse me. Um, but yeah, like the mainstream is trying to find ways to put sex in the mainstream is constantly trying to find ways to put sex in front of kids. And like if you say, "Oh, you know what? Like illegal immigration is bad to a child," they'll be like, "Whoa, stop trying to fucking indoctrinate him, dude." You know? Like it's if there's one thing I'm tired of, but like I don't think the world is ready for it yet. You see, drops a level, wraps the legs up. If there's one thing I'm tired of, and the unfortunate thing is I don't think the world is ready for it yet. I'm tired of like not being able to be like honest with kids about like everything, like everything about like the political struggle we're in and stuff like that. And I mean it's not like you're gonna sit a child down and have them watch Europa the Last Battle. I haven't even watched that, but that's one of the things that like a lot of people are like, you gotta watch this, dude. I'm just like saying as an example like of a documentary that people say is like really good to red pill you. Like we got to stop thinking let's let kids be kids. Like yeah, let kids be kids, but we also got to get our ideals into the school system, and we got to teach them like, hey, boys are boys, girls are girls. You don't get to switch. No, you're not a boy in a girl's body. No, you're not a girl in a boy's body. That shit is made up by a guy that is going to try and take advantage of you. Back in the 50s, they used to have like they used to have infomercials about like getting groomed into homosexuality. They literally used to, not infomercials, but um they used to have videos that they would watch at schools about like, hey, be very careful because you might get touched by a gay dude. For some reason a lot of these gay dudes love hanging around schools. Be really careful. You see a dude you don't know following you home, find an adult, don't talk to him. Don't let him convince you that he's normal. He's not. Like you don't want to get groomed into being gay. That's you don't want that, you know? Which like that's what happens with these kids is they get groomed into these fucking bullshit like sexualities and all that other shit, you know? Like we got to bring that back, because I'm tired of like almost I'm tired of being nervous about like what if I say the wrong thing to the kids in my jujitsu class. Meanwhile, they're going to school and they're getting taught about like butt sex by some fucking like groomer would be rapist teacher. It's just like fuck, get out of my face with that. I guess Jake Paul landed 16, Anthony Joshua landed 48. Interesting. You see a lot of the time when I saw Anthony throw, he missed. Or if he landed, it wasn't enough for me to consider that to be a landed punch. Death was the only thing that hard to come to terms with as a child, exactly. You know? Um, it's it's just awful. It's just awful. The things we do with kids, the things we do to kids, it's just terrible. And telling them to watch out is apparently like you're indoctrinating them. Like there's something that we had a new crop of kids. We had a new crop of kids who we um there's this fucking chick. There's this chick trying to flirt with Anthony right now, and he's just not having it. You can see he like looks at her and then he looks away immediately. He says like hello once and then he's like, okay, all right, okay, all right, okay, all right, okay, all right, okay, okay, all right. That's pretty funny that he was just like, yeah, no, no, no. Anyway, um, we had a crop of kids, right, that they're getting old enough and they're getting big enough to be in the adult class now. Our adult class at my gym is mostly kids. It's actually kind of bad. It's kind of bad. It drives away the real adults. Um, but we had a crop of kids, right, come into the adult class, and I decided that they are old enough to have this conversation with. I told them that it's important to try hard and it's important to take this seriously because losing a jujitsu match is not like losing a baseball game or anything like that. When you lose a jujitsu match, especially if you get blown the fuck out, it will have severe psychological consequences on you. Same thing with boxing, kickboxing, all this other stuff. If you absolutely get your ass handed to you, there will be psychological consequences that will not be good. It will be extremely bad on you in the long run. Excuse me. Because whatever happens to you, whatever you allow to happen to you, and whatever occurs against your will become internalized by you. You will internalize that, and you will start to think, I guess I'm the guy that this happens to. If you keep winning things, if you consistently win things, you will put it inside of your head that you are the kind of person who wins things. And because of that, you will be more willing to try harder. You'll be more willing to take chances, and you'll be more willing to go for things that you want and need. Because in your head, you think, I deserve it. I'm a winner. I win things. If you keep losing things when you're younger, you will internalize this idea that you're just the kind of person who loses things. Maybe second place is what you should be shooting for instead. You may not even realize you're thinking that way, but you are. You're getting comfortable with the idea of you getting beat up. You're getting comfortable with the idea of you like not doing good enough, not being the one who wins, not being the one who gets what you want or need. And I'm nervous to tell that to the kids that are actually in the kids' class because I'm just so afraid that their parents are going to be like, well, no, actually, what's more important is that what's more important is that you have fun. It's like, fuck no. Fuck no. Like, yeah, you should do something because it's fun, but you should be absolutely positively trying with every fiber of your being to win, is what you should be doing. You need to be winning. It's not enough to do something and just have fun with it. No, you should not be having fun with it if all you're doing is fucking losing. You do it for the love of the game and you win because that's what you should be doing because it's a competition, you know? Like, you can love the game but hate the fact that you're losing and be like, "Wow, I don't like this feeling. I cannot have this keep happening." You can't be all right with losing. You can't lose a game and be like, "Oh, well, that's okay. I had fun." That's not the attitude you should have, you know? Um like, I know the meme, if you're from the fish tank world, which I'm sure all of you are, I know the meme with me is that I'm like 1-2 in MMA, and people inflate that. They'll be like, "Dude, he's fucking 0-7. He got murdered in every single fight. He died and they revived him, and then he died again and they revived him again." I know that's kind of the meme with me, but like every time I lost a fight, I sat down and I had to have a heart to heart with myself, especially the last one I lost before I got kicked out of my gym. I got kicked out of my gym. It was kind of mutual. He kicked me out and I left. It was one of those you can't fire me. I already quit things. I had a fight and then like I took some time off because I had to soul search and figure out, hey, why am I doing this? Because I should have won this fight, but I lost. And I know why I lost it. I lost it because I was being a fucking idiot and not training as hard as I should. And what I did was I took everything and I put it to the side. Every fight that I've had, I have made a major improvement. And most of it has been on the mental side and it comes out in the physical, you know? Um, like losing is okay. It's going to happen, but it's not acceptable. It's something you begrudgingly accept because you have no other choice because the other guy showed up and he did a better job than you, and you got nothing you can do or say about it. But as soon as you get back to the drawing board, you absolutely positively have to be like, all right, let's fucking get this shit. I'm patching the holes and I'm making sure that I get mine. That's the type of shit you need to do. And I'm almost afraid to have that kind of conversation with the kids in the kids class, even though they're the ones that need it the most, because it's that age group that it really plays into it all, you know? And it's just annoying, you know? We can have Ice Spice showing up in a fucking thong and a see-through dress to a Nickelodeon fucking event, but I can't tell kids, hey, be a winner. If you have to choose between being a winner and a loser, be a fucking winner. I can't tell them that. It's just so fucking frustrating, dude. You know. Damn, I think I inhaled pizza or something too. Great point. Jake is suddenly taking a break. Well, yeah, I mean, he probably should take a break. Should patch some holes in his game. If he has a broken jaw, fucking he's gonna need to take a break. It's like what's he supposed to have a fight every week, you know? Um if you see a Nancy boy run for the hills, pretty much, pretty fucking much. We stopped indoctrinating kids, and now Ice Spice shows up to Nickelodeon events wearing hoe outfits, wearing clubbing outfits. Maybe we need to indoctrinate the kids again. Maybe if we don't indoctrinate the kids with our positive and good morals, kids will be indoctrinated with Ice Spice wearing a thong. Maybe that's what'll happen. Losing is especially hard in combat sports as opposed to team sports. You have only yourself to blame, and that's a tough place to be. And not only that, but there's no place to escalate to. Every baseball game that I lost, specifically when it was travel baseball, I was good enough at baseball to play travel league baseball, and what that is, for those of you that have never played, um, you have your little league, or there's also Cal Ripken League as well. There's a couple of different like kids baseball, youth baseball organizations that are like national level. I played little league baseball. You have your town's little league baseball program where you might have like 500 kids from your town in all different age groups. And what happens is, at a certain age, it's not like right away, but I think around age like 8 or 9, you have summer league baseball, which is also called travel league. And what that is the best players from each age group, from like 8 or 9 and up, they get picked and they get put on a team and they play other towns. So it's the best from this town versus the best from that town. Um, I wouldn't do this at home because like I knew everybody, and I knew everybody was cool and stuff like that. I might yell at an umpire every now and again, but overall, I would never get aggro with like the people from my town because we're all friends. There was one time though I almost got kicked out of Little League. I'll tell that story. But um, when I would face other towns, it would obviously get heated. Everybody would play into it. The kids, the coaches, the fans, the parents who were there to watch, everybody would play into it. And I'm the kind of person where I tend to reflect what the room is. If everyone's ready to fight, I'm ready to fight. And I'm not just going to reflect what the room is, I'm going to amplify that. So if the room's ready to fight, I'm even more ready to fight than the room is. If the room is ready to make peace, I'm even more ready to make peace than the room is, etc., etc. Um, every time I would lose a game in summer league baseball, I wouldn't like explicitly walk away from that thinking like I'll fucking beat their asses. But there was kind of a thought in my head like, yeah, they won, but those guys suck. You know, yeah, they won, but they're pussies. And every now and again, there would be a bit of an intense standoff. You get this person who fucking he chirps, he says something, and you say something back, and maybe you start pushing and shoving, or maybe there's maybe you just start yelling at each other. But there's always like the point I'm trying to make telling this story is that when you play baseball, basketball, football, etc., you can escalate from there. You could always get into a fist fight. Once you get into a fist fight, where are you going to escalate to? You gonna pull guns? Like, no, of course not. Um, when it comes to sports, the ultimate sport is that of the fist fight. So if you lose the fist fight, that's it. There is no other sporting event that you can be like, well, let's do this now. That's it. Nothing else. And that's why I said to them, like, losing a fight is not like losing a baseball game. Like, you can't walk away from a fight thinking, yeah, well, that guy's a sissy. he, well, he beat your ass. You know. Um, but yeah, I almost got kicked out of Little League when I was a kid, and it's kind of bullshit. Because so like I was a very high strung kid, and that's because my family would ride my ass when it came to baseball. I loved baseball and I miss baseball, but it was not a healthy relationship. I did not have a healthy relationship with baseball. I would get really angry. I would yell at umpires. I would, like I said, I would be the one ready to fight the other team and stuff like that. Yeah, like it was just not good. It was just not good. But there was one time, it was during town league baseball. So it wasn't travel league. This was people that I knew from around town. And there were these dudes, they were twins. I still forget which one I did it to. I forget which one I did it to because they were identical twins. So they look exactly the same, sound the same. Um, but basically this kid bumped into me as I was going for like a fly ball, and I fell over, and just like a rage overtook me, and I lost control, and I grabbed him and I just started like jostling him. I didn't hit him. I didn't even shove him. I just grabbed him by the fucking shirt and I started like like shaking the dude. Nothing that serious. It obviously not good, not okay for me to do, but nothing like crazy serious. And I just remember like my mom screamed my name and I stopped and I turned around and I looked, and I got told, just hey, take a seat on the bench. And what happened was one of the organizers of the league was like walking around that day and they saw that happen, and they said, "Oh, he can't play anymore." They had to have a big meeting about me and stuff like that, and I got suspended for like a few games. It was the dumbest shit because like dudes would get into fist fights in the dugout. Like literally years later, a dude that I was hanging out with told me a story. He was like, "Oh, dude, I hit somebody with a bat once, and I didn't get in any trouble." You know. Um, it was just the most bullshit. Like my family was not in the cool clique, so when I grabbed a kid by the shirt once, I almost got kicked out. You know. Excuse me. It was just like it was just so fucking stupid, you know. That is one thing. One of my first videos, one of the first videos on my channel is actually how I would rather not have my kids play team sports. I would rather just have them in I would rather just have them in combat sports. And the major reason is because team sports don't teach you a whole lot. They do teach you some stuff. They teach you how to work with others, and they teach you how to subjugate yourself to a cause or for a cause, you know. Those are two important things that you need to learn in your life. And I noticed that people who didn't play team sports, especially only children, people who are the only child in their family, I noticed that they don't have those skills. The thing is, there's other ways to teach a kid those skills than just throwing them in sports. You just have to be willing to teach them those things. You have to be willing to teach them um, team exercises and how to act and behave in a team environment. Excuse me. But when it comes to team sports, it is a popularity contest by a bunch of middle aged losers who have kids that they are trying to live vicariously through. And it is not a good environment for your child to be in. Maybe if you or your child are the kind of person who can schmooze enough that you get into the popular clique, or maybe if you are the epicenter of the popular clique. There's always a popular clique in each town, and not just each town, but each age group has its popular clique of like parents who are like the cool parents, and they all end up on the same team every year because one of the people in the popular clique decides to be a coach and he picks all of those kids. Excuse me. It's just it's the worst environment for a developing child to be in because it teaches them everything bad that you don't want them to be. It's possible to teach your child how to move in an environment like a high school type environment. It's possible to teach your child how to move in that place without having to like ruin their experience in sports. Excuse me. There should be a designated bare knuckle boxer in baseball that can be used to get an extra run. I agree 100%. That shit is why I hated team sports and loved karate as a kid. Yeah. Um, Scott, would swimming and track and field be considered team sports or individual sports? Well, there's individual events in swimming and track and field, and then there's team events in track and fields and swimming. So I guess it's a little bit of both, where it's like, well, I mean, if you specialize in a certain event that's like a team event, then yeah, I guess for you personally it's a team sport. But if you specialize the individual, excuse me, if you specialize in an individual, yes, Love is Blind France with two black people on the cover, because that's what you think of when you think of France. um I can't wait to see Love is Blind Nigeria and it's two white people. um anyway, um fuck, what was I gonna say? Yeah, I mean it depends. Excuse me. It depends on what your specialty is, I guess. But I'm excited for this Ace Combat 8. I played Ace Combat 7 last year. I'm nostalgic for last year, specifically around like October, November, because there were I did some really good streams back then, and I remember I did a couple of 24-hour streams. I really liked last year's Halloween stream. I think it was a really good stream. I had a good time with it. The game that we played was very good, even though I couldn't finish it all in one sitting. I had to do a Saturday Halloween stream. That's fine. Who cares? Um, but what was I gonna say? With I'm just last year. Last year. I'm feeling nostalgic for last year. It was a 2024 has been a better 2024 was a much better year for me than 2025. I'll say that much. The year isn't over. Who knows? Maybe I'll hit the lottery tomorrow or something like that. But 2025, I think, has been a step down from 24. I think it's been a transitional year for me. I think that I was on a certain trajectory, and then that trajectory failed. And yes, I'm talking about Fish Tank, obviously, right? And I don't need to get into explicit details as to why that might be. With all the shit that flies around regarding Fish Tank. I don't think it's I don't think it's a good thing for me to be trying to be Mr. Oh dude, but like this is what happened. This is there's nothing to be gained from that, you know, and that's why I've kept my mouth shut about anything and everything that I've seen. I won't even acknowledge it because it's like, well, there's nothing to be gained from me being the one who's like, oh dude, I heard about this, I saw that. Dude, I heard this from that guy, you know, the whatever, you know. Um it just sucks that the fish tank situation happened the way that it did because 2024 was a really good year with the fish tank shit. Um but then in addition to that, there were just some things that happened this year that were just like kind of they were just not great, you know. Um Getting into that car crash fucking um it just it's been a stressful year, man. It's been a stressful year, you know. And I'm hoping that 2026 will be better. I'm hoping that now that I've kind of had that year where I was free falling and I kind of know what direction I'm going in, I can really pull it all together and just fucking bang, just go forward, just go straight, you know. Um, Respect you not being a gossip channel about Fish Tank. Anyone who really wants to know already does. Yeah, like I'm not like for one thing, I don't know what is true and what isn't. Um, and like, I'm not even gonna acknowledge rumors. I'm just saying, like, when it comes to rumors that go around, I don't really know what's true and what's not. I never really was that close in the first place. I made the mistake of getting a little bit closer over the summer with Blood Games and Bitch Tank, and I got the feel that it was not really appreciated. Which is why when Blood Games 2 came around and I did end up on the writing team and I was going there to help, I made myself a little bit scarce. I was not always going down there to help because, for one thing, when I went down there to help, there was a weird feel, if I'm being honest with you. It just didn't feel right to me. And I'll just leave it at that. Meaning like me personally, not like there's weird stuff going on around here, but like more so I felt a little icy when I would go down there. It felt a little icy when I would go down there. um so I was like, yo, if I'm gonna go down there and it's just gonna be a little cold, why would I fucking bother going down there? Hit me up when you need me. I won't volunteer my time, you know. um but like, yeah, like overall I stay out of things. I don't bother, like I don't bother trying to be Mr. like know it all with what everybody's going through. I don't even talk to anybody, truthfully. Like, Greg hit me up to meet up in Philadelphia and I couldn't make it because I had that jujitsu tournament that day. And you know, I wasn't going to be able to make it. Um that's the last fish tank related person who I've spoken to who like they were like, "Yo, do you want to do something?" Other than that, it's been like nobody. Maybe Arie, you know. But yeah, like I stay out of it all. There's really nothing for me to tell in the first place. Um and I didn't notice any weird anything going on down there when I was there ever. So any rumors that are going around, I'm not knowledgeable on the veracity. And I also do think it's interesting that like some of these rumors only started spreading after certain people were like not brought on for something, you know? And that's what I didn't want to be. I don't want to be the guy who's like, they didn't fucking bring me back. Dude, there was that one day that fucking there was one day where fucking Jet said this thing. It's like, no, you know, whatever. Who cares? You know? Anyway, 2026 will be the year of Sensei Scott. Keep the faith. Hey, man, I hope so, you know? But I mean, I think if I'm being honest with you, if everything that I have planned in 2026 goes right, I'm probably not going to be doing this anymore. And who knows, like maybe the channel won't even be here. Maybe I won't just disappear on you guys. I will tell you, like, there will be like a farewell stream or a farewell video or something like that for all like 5 of you that are probably here right now, for all like 150 people that still watch my stuff. Which I appreciate every one of you. I won't just disappear on you, but if everything that I have planned for 2026 goes right, I'm gonna be back to like just being some random fucking guy who nobody outside of the town that I live in knows me. Oh, excuse me. We will be crying for the final Scott stream. Don't cry because it's over. Smile because it happened. You know. Um, I will say it was annoying to not get answers, but that's not I don't take that personally necessarily. They're just like all of them are bad at communicating and all of them are bad at like planning. And that includes Sam. As much as I love all those guys, like if we're just being honest here, they're not planners and they're not communicators and they'll get scared away by communication, you know? Like I think that's something that happened with season 3 is like I was told no Scott, no fish tank. Everybody saw that, you know. Um, and it's not the only time I was told that. So I'm just waiting for season 3. And I've been told multiple times on and off camera, hey, like you're around forever, dude. Um, and if that changed, all they had to do was let me know, hey, sorry, we're not gonna have you on this season or any season in the future. And I'd just be like, all right, well, hey, I appreciate it. Thank you for having me on those ones you did. It's unfortunate I can't be on anymore, but hey, it is what it is. What you gonna do? What am I gonna cry? I am. Nah, but jokes aside, like that's all I needed. And when I was basically allowed to like talk all about how I'm sure I'll be on. I'm sure I'll be on. Hey, I'm sure I'm going to be on. I'm sure it's going to happen. And then they brought on that fucking dude from Sticker Mule and they actually allowed him to do like a self-defense thing, which to my understanding was spur of the moment. He asked them to do that. They didn't ask him to do that. But it's still like, yo, you guys should have thought about how that would look and you should have thought about how things were. And I told that to Sam. I shot him a text. I was like, yo, not trying to be an asshole. I know you don't like people like coming at you over stuff. This is not a pressure thing either. If I'm not going to be on the season, it's all good, but you could have at the very least let me know so that I didn't make a fucking fool of myself. You gave a lot of shitty people a lot of ammo to like talk shit. And I just don't appreciate that. And I definitely think that probably like he probably didn't like that very much. It's like I've said, people who are not good with communication, they become threatened and offended by good communication. You know, I love those guys. I don't want anything bad for them. And it's like I said, I would love to be back for season 2.5, and I understand that they had a lot of like stressful shit going on. And I don't know, maybe Sam really was trying to slide me into season 3 when he asked if people wanted to learn karate. Maybe that was something that he was trying to go for and it just absolutely positively did not happen and it just fell apart as soon as it came out of his mouth. It was just like, "Oh yeah, we'll get you a karate trainer." Haha, bang. Oops, no, actually we can't. Maybe that's just what happened, you know? Um, I wish those guys nothing but success. And like I said, if 2.5 ever happened again, I'd probably be there. But it is what it is. I can't. Fish tank. I can't wait around for fish tank. You know. The the MDE dudes are dope, but they live in an alternate reality. I think it's just easy when you live the lives that they do to forget that other people don't live that kind of life, and because of that, their time, their energy actually is like extremely important to them, and not important in like I'm trying to make money. kind of way, but important in a, hey, there's only so many hours in the day and I have to work a job, and I'm like, I could be spending my time doing this thing, but instead I'm spending it doing something that is making you guys the majority of the money. I made $2,000 on season 2. That was what I got paid. I got paid $2,000, and I got reimbursed for anything that I bought for the, like I was given a budget. I was given a budget, and like when I bought stuff, it came out of that budget that I was given, and I was reimbursed, um that's not a whole lot of fucking money for being somebody who is constantly on camera and stuff like that, and I didn't complain about it, because to me it was just something fun to do that I appreciated, um like if I'm not doing that, I could be doing something else. So when I'm sitting here and like I'm waiting to get a call that I was guaranteed I would get, and then all of a sudden I don't, it's like that is kind of like, yo, you know. I don't have a business making comedy movies. My life is actually really fucking hard. you know. My my life is incredibly difficult, if I'm being honest with you guys. That's why I'm so fucking fat, and I'm just getting fatter, is because I don't have the time to take care of myself, because I have to work 2 jobs, and the only thing that makes me feel any better about where my life is going right now is just eating mad fucking food, you know? And that like I don't want to trauma dump on you guys at all. Like, that's not even necessarily what I'm trying to do, but we're talking about a topic right now, and I'm just being honest about how I feel about how important communication is, and then how certain things went down from my perspective that I feel comfortable even talking about, It's pretty obvious what happened with season 3. I was told I'd be on, I wasn't on. They didn't tell me that I wasn't going to be on, so I kind of held out for hope, and it made me look like a bit of an idiot, you know I think it's fine for me to talk about that, and how I do think it's fucked up, and how, even though I love those guys, it would have been nice if they didn't do that. And it's kind of unfair that, one, they did it, but two, if they hold that against me for being angry about it, it's like that's unfair too, and that my life is not just like running an online show, or doing comedy videos, going on a stand-up tour, etc., etc. It's like I wake up before the sun's up, and I go and I lift packages, and then I gotta go and I gotta run a gym for a guy who should be paying me 50 grand or more a year to do it for him, but instead I'm getting paid like 35 bucks an hour, and I teach like fucking like an hour or two a day, and it breaks up the day just enough as to where I don't have time to do anything else because I'm so tired. Um, Scott is cooking right now. Sensei sumo arc incoming, dude. I might as fucking well at this point, man. I'll be honest with you though. I probably will start losing weight pretty soon. Because I got something, you know. Uh, you could team up with Neon for the views. Is Neon here? Oh. When You see, Grimsby, when I think of Neon, I think of my good friend Neon, the guy who pops in the chat every now and again, and he has mod privileges. That's an IRL friend of mine, and like that's who I think of when you say Neon. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe I should hit up Neon. What jobs are they, if you don't mind me asking? I have to. I work in a warehouse, I have to move boxes of like fucking 40, 50, 60 pound shit. And that's why I was on workers comp for so long. Is because like it fucks my neck up. It fucks my back up, and my back and my neck are still fucked up. Um, so I go from that kind of strenuous, slow burn job to then I have to go and teach other people how to fight. Like I just don't have the bandwidth for more after that a lot of the time. So because of that, like, not only do I not take care of myself, but I'm so stressed. I'm so stressed that I'm just like, I want soda, you know? Oh, excuse me. Every one of us aging martial arts dudes has looked at sumo at some point and thought, maybe. Yeah, it might not be the worst idea for me right now. You know, I have impeccable balance. You know, that is one thing with my grappling ability. I do have very good balance. It's very hard to knock me off of my base, you know. Um I'm not an explosive stand-up grappler. You know, that is one thing that would hurt me, but I'm very consistent as a stand-up grappler. I'm a little bit more explosive on the ground. Like if I end up in top position, I I like to just keep working and working and working. Like I just don't stop. You know, I'm going for an arm. If you move, I'm gonna move, and I'm gonna be a step ahead of you. You know, it's one of those things. Every time you move, I'm gonna let you move, but only because I'm repositioning to be in the worst place for you. You know, fucking, you know. What was I going to say? Joshua versus Jake Paul is better if you pretend it's Burt versus Alex B. That's what I'm gonna tell my kids that was Anthony Joshua versus Jake Paul is Burt versus Alex B. Um, why can't everything just go back to the way it used to be? Yeah, that'd be nice. You know, that'd be nice. Have unrelated. Have you watched the Ultimate Self Defense Championship? Curious to hear your thoughts on it. Yeah, I have. The first season was cool because I actually knew a lot of the guys who were on that season. Not know them personally, but like Ramsey Dewey is a guy that like I really look up to as a martial artist. I don't love everything he has to say, and I do think that a lot of his persona on YouTube is probably not true to life. I think it's pretty true to life, but probably not completely true to life, you know. You're getting me. This is me. I'm not playing a character for you guys. I'm not doing Q&A with the coach. Hi, Ramsey Dewey here from Shanghai, China. Here's another Q&A with the coach. That's not what I'm doing, you know. This is me. Hello. Nice to meet you, you know. But I like Ramsey Dewey. Icy Mike. Icy Mike kind of reminds me of myself a little bit. You know, we're both a little bit abrasive. And then there was other dudes in there. You know, Rokas from Martial Arts Journey. He's the guy who puts it on. I know him from years of just watching his Aikido Flow channel, and then eventually he changed it to Rokas Martial Arts Journey, and now he rebranded it to the Ultimate Self Defense Challenge. Um, I liked the first season. I didn't watch the entirety of it. The second season, I watched a little bit of it, and in fact, I broke some of it down because Natan Levy was on there, and I have a beef with Natan Levy. You know, one way, obviously, he would never, even if he knew who I was, he would never acknowledge me because I'm not a slouch. I could actually really fucking hurt him if he and I ever fought. You know, um, but I wanted to watch just to see, you know, how he did and then how certain other people did. I'll be honest with you, season three, I haven't watched any of it. I don't know if I'll bother. You know, I think Natan actually came back too. That's the other thing. Oh yeah, I forget if I mentioned I'm really excited for Ace Combat 8. Ace Combat 4 is my favorite game. I used to keep it in the background at my old place, but since I don't have anything to, you know, keep stuff on in the background, I don't have it up anymore. But Ace Combat 4 is my favorite game ever. It's the best game in my opinion. Um Best flight sim for sure. You know, unrealistic, but really fun game, you know. Um but yeah, the Ultimate Self-Defense Challenge is an interesting it's interesting, and I would be interested in doing it. I don't want to have to go to fucking Australia to do it, but I'd be interested in doing it. If they switched it to like if there was a facility somewhere in America, preferably on the East Coast, yeah, I'd be in Rokas's inbox sending dick pics. I'd write, please let me participate on my dick. I'd only get the please on there before I'd run out of room. But um, I'd snap a pic and I'd fucking send it to him. Is what I'd do. Um, no, but it would be cool to participate in something like that, but I would have to be in better shape. I would literally treat it like a fight. I would probably fight camp before I went there. Luckily, I wouldn't have to worry too much about diet. I could, I wouldn't have to worry about making a certain weight or something like that. I'd eat clean, but I wouldn't you know, I wouldn't be trying to drop weight, you know. Excuse me. Um, yeah, I wouldn't be trying to drop weight so I could just do whatever. But like, if I'd have to get like back in shape, which would mean I'm gonna drop weight. But like, you know what I mean by that. Get in shape to get in shape. I would so support Scott on Ultimate Self Defense Challenge. Yeah, and I mean, he's run out of very well known creators to have on. I feel like, or maybe he hasn't, and maybe the new crop is just like maybe the new crop is just a bunch of guys that I've never heard of, but they're like big on YouTube. You know, um, I don't know. It could be either. Um, Ramsey's definitely a bit of a curated character. Exactly. Um, it's also a legit dope martial art, honestly. Yeah. Yeah. I don't a million percent understand the intricacies of it. I get it. I get it. And I see them. It's not that I'm completely blind to a lot of the things that you see in sumo. You see a lot of stuff that you'll even see in grappling, sumo is grappling, but um you see a lot of things that you'll even see in like say wrestling or jujitsu. You see a lot of snap downs, you see a lot of arm drags. You'll I would assume you even see some duck under throw bys and stuff like that every now and again, some throw throughs, or slide bys, excuse me. Throw throughs, some slide bys. I would assume you see those every now and again, right? Every once in a while. Um, and like it is like it's a burst of energy, and that makes it exciting. I just haven't really given it that big of a shot. There's a guy on Funny Junk who posts sumo stuff. That's where I've seen the most of my stuff. um Excuse me. There we go. Anyway, yeah, that's where I've seen most of my stuff. Most of the sumo stuff that I've seen has been on one moment. Just trying to make sure I have okay maps selected. Um that's where I've seen most of my sumo content has been on Funny Junk, believe it or not. But like overall I've never been like, "Ooh, let's look up some sumo." I've just it's just not something that I've done. Um Next season is an all-female season. Actually, that is pretty crazy. I mean, it makes sense. You should come to Australia. You'd like it. Maybe I'd like it. Maybe I'd like it. As long as I don't run into any fucking spiders. Fuck that shit. All right, I'm on Glade. I'm on Glared. I'm gonna play one game and then I'm gonna get out of here. I meant to start playing at like 1:30, and it's already 1 hour and 30 minutes is what I meant to start playing at, and we're already almost 2 hours. We are officially 2 hours in right now. Goths. So I gotta remember to. Make a wall as soon as I can. I'm gonna get some on there, and I'm gonna take one of them, and I'm gonna send it to make a wall. That way, I'm not exposed. Because that's what the guy tried to do last time. Was he tried to build a fucking barracks right here, so that he could rush me in Dark Age. And fuck that shit. Fuck that guy, you know? Dude can eat shit. That dude can eat shit. Why am I like... It's really weird. I am, I'm still rusty. I'm still very rusty. For gooder. Whatever. I think I'll send this one over here, and then I can send that over there, and then no, you know what? Yeah, fuck it. Doesn't matter that much. Oh boy, I barely have any fucking 6, 7, 8. Yeah, okay. There we go. I barely have any wood. It's not really bueno. Not really bueno. Definitely need more wood. I'm gonna say fuck it and send this one to berries after. The Krav Maga guy got injured really early. Oof. Sucks for him. Yeah, Ramsey Dewey got injured in the middle of that too, and it was because and that is one thing that I think is stupid about the USDC is a lot of it is arbitrary bullshit that is completely and totally made up. And like even if the scenario is meant to be like legit, it's like it's kind of poisoned by the fact that everybody knows what the game is. Like if somebody comes at me in the middle of a movie theater and like, you know, we haven't started fighting yet, I don't know what this dude's intentions really are. Maybe he really wants to fight, maybe he doesn't. Maybe he just wants to look tough. I have no clue. But like when I'm at the Ultimate Self Defense Challenge and they're like, "Okay, here's the scenario. You're in the movie theater with your girlfriend." It's like, okay, so your first thought is going to be, okay, who's the first guy that's going to try and hit on my girlfriend? Who is my girlfriend going to start trouble with? You know, that's going to be your question. That's going to be the thing you're wondering about, you know? Like who is the first guy that I'm going to have to swing on because it's a game. You've gamified the concept of self-defense. Um you know, which that's what makes it fun. You know, we're allowed to have a little bit of fun, but like it is just a little weird. And then like you also have these scenarios where it's like, okay, so there's a zombie attack and you have to survive, and you're starting from one side of the facility and you have to make your way to the other side. And it's like, what does that have to do with self-defense, you know? It's like I get it. I get it. You're just trying your best to fill time and to make it interesting. Totally get it. I do not begrudge you that, but it is just a little fucking strange, you know. And Ramsey Dewey got injured during one of those bullshit like, okay, so you're on the run from bandits and you have to make it to the fucking home base. You have to make it to the safe spot, and that's like really weird. And you could tell Ramsey was really upset about that. Ramsey was like, the way he talks about it, the way he talked about it like a year or two later, not only was he upset about that, he was upset at Rokus. He was not just upset at like the USDC organizers, meaning the guys who like, yeah, we're from the organization, you know, you're using our facility. He wasn't just upset at those guys, he was upset at Rokus, you know? You could tell. Oh, what are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? There we go. There we go. Damn, I got some downtime going for sure. Not good. Not good. Hopefully I'll beat a feudal before this guy does. Before this guy gets there. If I can get to feudal before this guy gets there, I'll be in alright shape. It's not even gonna matter like what happens, you know. Ah yes. Oh yes. Ah, damn it. That's not good. So chances are he's gonna early rush. You can see by his score he's trying his best to he's probably got some kind of early rush bullshit getting ready. So what I'm gonna have to do is be ready to build a not a castle a tower right here. You know what I'm gonna do once this thing's completed. Of course he goes for there first. Whatever, fucking get it done and get your ass out there. Holy shit. Oh, 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 ooh, 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 ooh. No, 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 no. Fuck. Fuck, 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 fuck. Two, three. You see what I'm talking about? You see what I'm fucking talking about? It's exactly what I'm talking about. Such a fucking bullshit way to play. You guys better hurry your asses up. All right, I might just make it. I might just make it. Maybe. We shall see. We shall see. Oh yeah, dude, forget about it. And this guy right now is blowing his load on something that doesn't even fucking matter. It doesn't even help him. Okay, so we got 1 and we got 2, 3. Good one, Dunny. Yeah, you know what? I need that too. And you guys get your asses back there. Yeah, whatever, fine. You want to finish that? It's fine by me. What are you getting the wife for Christmas? I'm pretty sure she's asleep, so I can say I got her these stuffed animals. We don't like we tend to not do anything too crazy when it comes to like gifts and stuff like that, you know. Like I think the most expensive gift my wife has ever gotten me was a like a coat and maybe some cologne. She got me some cologne recently. Yeah, this guy blew his load in a way that is like really bad for him. He does wow, this guy is a dummy. This guy is a dummy. Boy, is he stupid. Anyway, yeah, so I got her these capybara stuffed animals because we love capybaras. We're actually considering getting one as a pet. And we're like we're pretty serious about it. You know, once we get our own place one day. Once we get our own place one day, we will you know, we might end up getting a capybara as a pet. You know, because it's like life is too short to not get a capybara if you want one. You know, that's just kind of the way it is. Um, but yeah, we love capybaras. I figured it'd be nice to get her one. She might like it, and yeah, so that's what we did. That's what we're doing. Oh yeah, I should have enough on the. I should have enough for the castle by the time I need a little bit under 200, which I should get because I got what 7 of those guys. Yeah, that's easy peasy. Yeah, I build the castle maybe around here. And yeah, I start blasting this motherfucker. Just absolutely fucking letting them have it. Um Ramsey Dewey says he wants guys like Master Wong to compete in it. That would be good. I think that would be interesting. Because it like Master Wong claims to be Mr. Self Defense. You know, a lot of these guys claim that their shit is not for competition, but it's really for the streets. And you know, Master Wong is no different. He's one of those guys. You know, I think it'd be good. Oh, damn it. Yeah, I mean, I'm still rusty, you know. What do you expect? Still though. Yeah, I don't think he realizes no matter what he does, he's kind of in bad shape, you know. I mean, he's got the Goths. I don't necessarily want them to you know, have too much he's not in good shape no matter how he plays this. Oh yeah, you kidding me? He thinks that's going to be enough. He's not even going to be able to fucking forget about it. Sorry, guy. It ain't happening. It ain't happening for you. It ain't happening for you. Oh shoot. Hold on 1 second. New Karu 87. I'm gonna read that in a second. I just want to make sure I can take down this castle, because once I take this castle down, he's fucked. He ain't got nothing he can do. But thank you so much for the $25, and I swear I am gonna read that in like less than 5 minutes. Okay, thank you so much. Boink. I didn't even realize the
Quit touching me.
Quit touching me. Quit touching me. Anyway, this is for the Capybara Fund, or whatever you choose to do going forward. Much respect, whether you're streaming here or just living normie life. We'll always appreciate the time you spent streaming with us. Hey, thank you so much, the new Karu, or just new Karu 87. Excuse me. Yeah, I and that's one of the reasons why I don't want to be like that's one of the reasons why I don't want to be like shit talking anybody, you know. Like, yeah, if I'm being honest with you, I do kind of feel some type of way about it, you know. But like, whatever, who cares? I had a good time, and I appreciate what these guys allowed me to be a part of, and what I was able to take part in because they fucking called me. What I was able to take part in because they picked up the phone and fucking called me to take part in it, that allowed me to stream to more than one person at a time. Even if it's only like 10 people at a time at this point. At one point it was 40 to 50 at a time. In some cases it was a couple hundred at a time. At one point I had over 1,000 people watching me for like one stream, but I mean, hey, you know, like they were watching me, you know. Like I was Anyway, like I don't want to look back in anger or disappointment. I don't want to be sitting here like, dude, fucking, why did it have to fucking, dude, like, why couldn't they just like, dude, like, that wasn't cool that this happened and they did that, and blah blah blah. That's I don't wanna be that. I don't wanna do that. I don't wanna do that because, like, really, I'm just happy that I was able to do this stuff in the first place. You know, I've always been big on experiences. Money is important to me. Money makes the world go round, but I've always lived my life happy that I was able to do certain things. There's a wide range of things that I've been able to do in my life that a lot of people have not, just because I was willing to say yes to certain things, and just because I was willing to like ask for certain things, or to hit somebody up and be like, "Hey, I'm available, just let me know." Um I've been fucking everywhere. I've done everything, you know. And this is just another one of those things where it's like when I'm old and gray, I'll think back and I'll be like, man, I remember the fish tank days. This is pretty cool. Pretty cool. Yeah. We really did something good there, didn't we? We really did something that knocked everybody's socks off, huh? Like I can at least look back and think about that and be that way about it, you know? Um so yeah, I mean, I don't know where I'll be, you know. It's unfortunate because I really do like this. I really enjoy it, but if it ain't hitting the way that it's supposed to, then I have no choice but to do something else. That just is what it is. But I do want you guys to know that I appreciate you. Obviously, the people that watch me today are not exactly the same as the people that watched me back in the day. There are names that I remember that I don't see anymore. There's names that I see that I don't remember from a while ago. New people, some old people, etc., etc. I appreciate all of you though, and yeah, thank you. As for today, give me one moment. As for today, I think it is about that time. I got to get to bed, and I got to get to bed, and I got to be up early tomorrow. So, thank you everybody who tuned in. That mindset is why I keep following. Hope you're here longer, but totally understand if you're not. Yeah, and I hope I'm here longer too. It's not like I'm gonna be gone tomorrow. I'm gonna stream for as long as I can. Realistically, with the plans that I have, if everything goes the way I think it's going to, maybe like June or July of next year, I might one day send a tweet and maybe upload a video and be like, "Hey, guys, I can't continue on. We're gonna have a farewell stream. Fucking $1,000 and I'll shave my head. Ha! Like some fucking something stupid like that. That is that is something I've considered, actually, not the head shaving thing, but I have considered having like a weekly or maybe even a monthly like dono goal stream where it's like, yo, honestly, begging, being a clown for money, I've considered something like that because maybe it would drive viewership and donations. Maybe it would, but I'd feel weird just being like, okay, this Saturday is the please give me money stream. If you give me money, I'll do a Chris Chan and I'll drink cum Fanta. like like I don't know how to do that. There's certain things that I don't know how to do it. I literally, it's just not built into me to be like, hey guys, we're gonna do this weekend. Please donate to me and make sure you tune in. I'm not good at the whole self promotion thing, and I'm not good at being like, hey guys, can you give me money? I can do it for other people. I did it for Brandon. I did it for the PS4 guy. I did it for one of the first charity streams that I did were for these African dudes that were running a kickboxing program, and I think it was like Uganda. Ugandan kickboxing guys, and I sent them a little bit of cash. I think I sent them like $100 that I was able to gather from myself and people who were watching me at the time, you know. What was I gonna say? But like the idea of like, hey guys, tune in to send me money and I'll do something stupid is like, how do I do that, man? The thought of that gives me these like weird guilt pangs. Like I'm like, ugh, you know. But anyway, I said I was gonna head out. It is that time. I gotta head out. All right. Love you guys. All right. And until next time, peace out.